Hello, y'all. It's 11:13 p.m. It was just 11:12. So, well, excuse me. Let's, I lately I've been trying to do like a rundown of a summary of how my day was or what I did for the day, like a daily diary of my survival, you know, being targeted. Excuse me. Well, this morning after the previous longer video, I ate not two full bowls, but two half bowls. I mean, because it was like a huge big bowl. Excuse me. It was a huge big bowl, and I don't like to fill it up all the way to the top. Because then the cereal would get very soggy, and I don't like to eat soggy cereal. So I had like two half bowls, or approximately half of bowls of cereal, plus the naked juice drink. They don't have to add natural flavors to it, and I forgot that. I got that, and forgot that those juices even said that. So that's what I had for breakfast. It was like after I got off that video, and it was about sometime after 5 o'clock in the morning. But if I wasn't harassed or online gang stalked in the middle of the night, then I probably could have got me some more sleep. So, excuse me, this mucus. So I ended up making several attempts to try to get me some sleep and couldn't sleep. And I've been having gas all day long. Excuse me. I've been having gas all day long. And so, so then, like, I couldn't, like, even around 7, 8 o'clock, I tried to sleep, could not fall asleep, could not get any sleep. And 11 o'clock, I was feeling not dizzy or lightheaded, but I felt weak and very hungry. And so, I ate 3 meals today, So I had breakfast, lunch, and dinner. For lunch, I had some of the frozen peas. Well, those peas tasted good by itself with no butter or sugar or seasoning salt or whatever. I mean, but I would love to have had butter and all that. Butter and sugar and seasoning salt on my peas. Excuse me. So I had like some peas and I had 3 of the hot dogs like I had yesterday with the sausage, not wieners. But it tasted better today, and I didn't put the provolone cheese on it, but I did put barbecue sauce on it. And I had my supplement, my Amazing Grass supplement. And I tried the Klondike ice cream cone. It was alright. I wasn't too crazy over it. Not like the Magnum bar. But I used to like the Klondike bars. You know, I still do flavor-wise. I like the Klondike bars, but, you know, I didn't really get to have Klondike bars that much. You know, same thing with Magnum bar. I shouldn't be eating that kind of stuff. So, I kind of figured that after I ate lunch, I would finally get some sleep. So then it was after 12:30, I dozed off and fell asleep. And I think my sleep was spotty. And I had to use the bathroom, I guess, a couple of times. And then, so I think I woke up about 4:30, and as I said, almost every time I have a dream or a nightmare up in here, it's either a nightmare about me getting arrested and going to jail or prison, or nightmares about me being back homeless again. Or, you know, bad dreams about either one of those things, you know. So then, later on this afternoon, they had this guy, I think he messaged me last night or in the middle of the night. He donated me something to my fundraiser once, but, you know, he seemed like the type of person that's narcissistic and controlling. I guess he said he's an old man. You know, so, and people, that's what people do. If they're supposed to be targeted and then they flip and switch to the other side and become a perp. So, he private messaged me and narcissistically demanded an answer and I didn't want to tell him either. But he narcissistically demanded an answer and kept pushing the issue. Demanded an answer for why my TikTok was banned. And I mentioned about how, you know, about the gang stalkers bragging about I mentioned about the gang stalkers bragging and plotting and planning. Yeah, let's see how we can get, you know, her TikTok taken down or get all her such and such taken down. But he just kept on pushing the issue and acting like he was trying to manipulate or try to get me to confess whatever he was trying to falsely get something out of me or just try to make me look wrong. So I put in a community post about, you know, him defending and agreeing with the gang stalkers when he pretends to be anti-Illuminati, you know, talking about it's a big club and we ain't in it or whatever. Excuse me. So when he defended and agreed with the gang stalkers, trying to talk about, because I publicized their names, that basically I deserve to get my TikTok taken down. I meant to say that I deserve for my TikTok to get taken down. And so, I mean, I called him fake. And I blocked him. And it's like, if you're a real target, targeted individuals mention names of their gang stalkers and post up license plates and addresses and everything of the gang stalking criminal network. As I said, whose side are you on? I have zero tolerance for people defending and agreeing with the gang stalkers and traffickers, and then making it like these criminals are supposed to have more rights than us. Even people who say that they're targeted make it like as if it's the standard that, you know, another TI is not supposed to have anything good, and that the gang stalkers are supposed to have more rights than us. No, like, there's very few targeted individuals who speak about. There's only a small handful of targeted individuals who speak about how they trying to fight for their freedom and fight for their rights. But fake TI perps make it like as if you're wrong for trying to fight for your personal and individual rights. So I stay away from people who want to defend and agree with these sick ass gang stalking traffickers. Saying that gang stalkers have a right to shoot people and all that. Or the gang stalkers have a right to shoot the TI, or that the gang stalkers have a right to defend themselves. What about when gang stalkers run up on us? They tell me don't confront gang stalkers, but gang stalkers be confronting me. But I'm supposed to be the dangerous and crazy person that need to be watched at all times. But if I'm so dangerous, why you keep harassing, provoking, and fucking with me, though? That's what I don't understand. So, you know how when I walk onto the main street right here, there's no actual sidewalk. So they have the line in between the traffic, and then there's the street-based sidewalk rather than the grass-based sidewalk. So actual sidewalks where they have like on the grass or something, they don't have sidewalks. So they have like so they don't have like regular sidewalks. So they have where you have to walk on it's a sidewalk that's on the street. But they have somebody who falsely accused me of walking in the street. I'm like, that's the sidewalk. That is the sidewalk. Saying, well, don't walk in the street. You'll make it easier for them to hit you. Well, that's the sidewalk. They don't have, they don't have any, the standard sidewalk. So you have to walk on a street-based sidewalk on the side. I'm not walking onto the street where there's traffic unless I'm crossing the street. But when I was in Pensacola, they had a black female police officer who was an abusive, narcissistic perp that wanted to bully and harass me. And she tried to tell me, she tried to tell me that, she tried to lecture me about, as if I'm retarded and don't know any better. But the reason why I will walk, when I was in downtown Pensacola, walk on the street, because the gang stalkers are people who have property, homes and stuff like that, on that particular street. They will have, bushes, trees, vehicles, items, and everything. When I showed y'all the perp, the other day, I think it was Friday, when I went to the post office, and they had the perp family with the red truck and the blue house, and I pointed out in that video saying, look, they're using the sidewalk for a parking lot, and they're trying to set me up to get hit, so I have to walk onto the street, and and go walk around their truck when you have a whole parking driveway, but you're sitting there because you knew I was going there, so you try to block your big ass truck, to block me from normally walking. Like, why would you even park right there when you go inside the gate and park at your designated driveway? But no, you park on a sidewalk, block the whole sidewalk, and I had to walk like around your truck and onto the traffic, you know. And also, like, when I was walking to the Family Dollar the other day, they have those 4 or 5 dogs on a leash or whatever. So, you know, I can't walk near them. So, of course, I'm going to walk, like, I'm not walking in the street by where the traffic is, but they have the street-based sidewalk, you know, that's in between the property and the grass and all that, or the dirt, and the actual traffic lane. You know, there's like a bike, or not a bike lane, but like a lane where you can either walk, or they have like the pedestrian lane, you know, that's in between the sidewalk, you know. So I didn't have anywhere else to walk. And also, I really don't like walking on grass or in dirt and stuff like that. Part of my OCD. But narcissistic abusers, they would get mad at me if I walk in the grass. So, yeah. But, you know, but yeah, I wasn't trying to do anything dangerous or anything like that. I mean, I walked on the side, the pedestrian lane, like I do each and every time, because they don't have sidewalks. And then if they do have sidewalks, the grass would be too tall, or they would have like just nuisances in the way, you know. So, but anyway, for dinner, I had another half bowl of cereal and started to wonder if I overdid it with the dairy for the day, and I was already farting all day, you know. So, well, I had like a half a bowl of cereal, life cereal. I had a half a bowl of cereal, and I try to experiment to see if it's possible for people to microwave boiled eggs. This is the first time I tried microwaving boiled eggs, but I tried microwaving other kind of eggs, like you know, scrambled. It didn't turn out right, but I think I was still in foster care when I tried to do that. But I Google searched on if it's possible or how you can microwave boiled eggs. You know, when I made the eggs in the toaster of I scrambled the eggs, and it turned out to be a loaf in the toaster oven. The online gang stalkers, you know, when I tried a different method, and they shamed me, talking about, look, she can't even cook eggs. And that wasn't the case. The eggs turned out great. But I was just saying that I didn't realize that the eggs would rise. I didn't realize they would expand and rise so big, you know. But just because I said I didn't realize that they would expand so big, you know, but when I took it out of the toaster oven, the swelling went down, you know. So the gang stalkers maliciously took that the wrong way and tried to make it like she can't even cook eggs. But But like when somebody advised that you should put baking soda or salt in the eggs to put in the microwave so that the eggs won't explode, and then cover the eggs with the water after you mix the baking soda in. And then they said for 2 eggs, put it on high for 4 minutes. Excuse me. Put it on high for 4 minutes. And then I think they said 1 minute for each extra egg, or 2 minutes for each extra egg. I don't remember, but I put 3 eggs in there for 6 minutes. But the outer part of the egg was fully cooked, but the yolk seemed like as if half of it was cooked and the other half was kind of runny. And then I started to panic and excuse me, but then again, I mean, I don't eat raw eggs, and I don't strive to eat raw eggs, and I don't like undercooked eggs or undercooked meat. You know, I prefer like well done steak or ground meat or whatever, you know. So, but it's like, but I guess they said that the eggs being cooked that way was considered soft boiled or something like that. So, but I really wanted it hard boiled and fully cooked. But I panicked and got scared. But I've gone to restaurants and eaten eggs that didn't look like they were cooked thoroughly or all the way, but I turned out fine. And but I put the Slap Your Mama Cajun seasoning on the eggs, and I thought that they tasted so good. And then I had like 2 spoonfuls of peanut butter. The peanut butter and honey, I just had that by itself. And so but I try to make myself stay on the safe side, that I had me some bentonite clay. I had some bentonite clay, you know, trying to stay on the safe side. Earlier today, because of my sleep deprivation, I meant to and wanted to make a transportation appointment for groceries. I wanted to make a transportation appointment for groceries. But, you know, I was too sleep deprived and tired and couldn't function properly. But I thought of to even though I got my food stamps on, what was it, the 19th, I think. Yeah, so I have not spent the food stamps yet. But my thing was, you know, since every month is a scare, me living here month to month, I don't know what's going to happen. And the online gang stalkers keep threatening me. You know, I've been in this place that they've been stalking and watching everything I do. And then lie and say that Candy is still begging and scamming and lying. Which is not true. Me exposing my gang stalking, they consider it me being negative and complaining. And then lie on me and say that I'm racist, homophobic, and and that they spread the fake slander campaign that I'm racist and homophobic, and that I like to terrorize, harass, like they lie on me and say that I like to terrorize and harass and bully the elderly and children and military vets, which is not true. That lady 2 doors down using her grandkids to gang stalk me. But I don't fault the younger kids. I don't fault them because they're babies. They don't really know no better. But it's not really the kids' fault. It's the parents and grandparents, who should be at fault. Because you're sitting there teaching and training them to be evil. And you're exploiting your own kids and grandkids for money. And you're probably pimping them and getting them to perp. And you're probably not even rewarding the kids. You probably, what if the kids grow up and wonder, why did my mom make me do this to that person? Or why did they make me do this? Or why did they make me say this or why did they make me wear this? But then if they question those things, then they will end up becoming targeted. But they grew up, if they would be raised to think that gang stalking innocent strangers is normal. But I really think when people use their kids and grandkids or nieces and nephews to gang stalk, I really think that they are trafficking and pimping those kids out. And exploiting those kids. And I don't think the kids get rewarded or see any money. Unless they're teenagers and they use the teenagers to, like as I said, when I was working at Gulf Breeze Middle School and high school, a lot of, not so much the middle school students, but the high school students were gang stalking me. And one day I went to the grocery store, fake Walmart I think it was, and then they had I have a video of it too, an underage boy that was like 15, 16, 17 years old. And he was actually following the fuck out of me in an Uber vehicle. When I was in the Uber vehicle, and the boy was following the fuck out of me with one headlight. So yes, children and underage people do gang stalk. And yes, there is a such thing as children being narcissistic abusers. Yes, and I don't care what y'all say, because there is, like, it was 2019, I was working at the Roger Scott Pool through the YMCA. The abusive narcissistic perp co-workers who were kids, 14, 15, 16, 17 years old, 18 years old. A lot of them were abusive narcissistic gang stalkers. And they had this girl that was 14 years old who acted like she delusionally believed that she's the mature adult with authority over me. And I was like 35, 36 years old. And then I would have to deal with children like being 17 years old, disrespectful co-workers, and think that they're the ones who make the rules over me and are in charge. So I didn't even realize that boy, his name was Christian Cash. He said that he doesn't believe in Jesus. But he would be perping me. They set me up to work with a 17-year-old boy when I was 35 years old. And they allowed him to bully and abuse and try to exercise fake authority over me and think that he's smarter with more common sense. And he was 7, and everybody had a vehicle except me. Even the ones who were older than 18. If they would have a place to live and a vehicle, working the same job as I do. And then that boy was 17 years old. And he would drive a red truck. And he will always have his, and I didn't realize that was a gang stalking tactic. He will always have his arm hanging out the window. And when I'm working with gang stalking coworkers, they would do stuff like tap their nails on a counter, or click their pins a lot, or jiggle their keys. I'm like, but if I were to do that, if I were to jiggle my keys or click a pin, y'all would say that I'm asking to get my ass beat, or asking for somebody to haul off and slap the shit out of me. You know, abusive narcissistic victim blaming. But they had the kids, excuse me, when I would try to operate the water slides, excuse me, and then they had this 12-year-old boy. He was too young to work, but he was one of the kids that was the, you know, guests or patrons or whatever, you know, and he would slide down the slides, and he acted like he was 12 years old. No, I think he was 11, and he narcissistically tried to do my job for me, and even tried to boss and order me around. I had to put that boy in his place and make him humble himself. He trying to act like he had authority over me and trying to tell me what to do. But you know, and then I mean, I had to deal with 6-year-old kids who would bully, harass, and laugh at me, or, you know, gossip or snicker about me and think I'm weird and everything like that. But a lot of times 10 and 11-year-old kids, you know, yes, they have a lot of narcissistic kids because they probably get that narcissism from their parents or grandparents or relatives, that whoever they be raised around. So if they think that talking and acting like that is normal, you know, like when I was in middle school, I mean, it was a little bit in elementary school, but mainly in middle school and high school, the kids, they were abusive, narcissistic, ghetto, and thought they were grown. Even getting pregnant in 7th grade. But they were acting like they delusionally believe that they're overgrown and mature. And narcissistic abusers who are like, you know, they like to exercise their fake grownness and remind you how grown they are, just as a way to try to think they can exercise power over you and try to intimidate, manipulate, and scare you and stuff, you know. It's like in the video that in the previous video with me talking about that, but they you know, talking about how, I mean, they sit there and talk about, now I've been driving for over 50 years or something like that, you know. But you've been driving for over 50 years, but you're 64 years old? Or I've been cooking for over 50 years. I've been doing that, like they think that saying now and then start their sentence, they think that it's supposed to elevate their so-called grownness. Like they think they're more grown. Or they will try to remind you of how much of a grown woman they are. Or how much of a grown man they are. You know. But me, I'm about to be 40 and people want me to stay a punished child with no rights. Like everybody has authority and rulership over me. I have to do what 4-year-olds tell me to do. Now, like, who else gets treated like this? So that Sunshine perp, not the targeted individual Sunshine 849, but a perp named Sunshine mentioned something about, oh, the reason why she has dry, cracked feet is because she's diabetic. And one day, very, very soon, she's going to drop dead. I'm not diabetic. I'm looking y'all on the camera and telling y'all I'm not diabetic. But I've talked about this before, how narcissistic abusers will wish diabetes on me and wish health problems on me and stuff like that. You know, they wish ill on me. But when I wish ill or wish death on a person, oh, they would, you know, go into a fake frenzy. All the times y'all tell me I deserve to be dead. But nobody cares when when somebody tell me I deserve to be dead. But if I say that the gang stalkers deserve to go fry in hell, they treated me like I already committed the murder. And I have never killed anyone. But the gang stalkers do immature shit, like if I, in the middle of doing a video and they have the normal flying insects crawling in the ceiling and I shoot them down with the rubbing alcohol, or if I kill a roach, they will falsely lie on me and say that, oh, this is proof that Candy is a murderer. But, you know, as I said, a lot of targeted individuals be saying that they wish the gang stalkers would die. Or a lot of victims be saying that they wish that the narc would die. But the narcissistic abusers and gang stalkers are killing us and getting rewarded for it. Not just getting away with it, but getting rewarded for it. You know. So, I was trying to say that due to the fact that the gang stalkers make threats to make me back homeless again, it's the 25th still. Yeah, it's 11:50 right now. So, in 10 minutes, it will be the July 26th. And, you know, me being all excited, you know, to finally get to have things that I was deprived of for a while, you know, for years. That's why I got some of the things that I got. But, you know, and then I had the food stamp back pay. So, and I called myself trying to stock up and do prepper stuff, but that didn't work out. But, I need to find a way, since food prices is going up, and I need to try to think of or try to figure out how I can pick out healthier foods for a cheaper price. I mean, beans and rice, you know, can be cheap and healthy. But who wants to eat beans and rice all the time? But I thought about getting me some leg quarters, but when you have the 10-pound bag of leg quarters for under $5, I'd be scared to eat that because they might be hormone injected, or you know, I've been hearing about this lab printed meat. And if it weren't for TikTok, then I probably wouldn't have known about that. The lab grown meat. But I guess I have been ignorant of eating lab grown meat. But I don't remember if it was the Tyson stuff or the what meat that I had that was raw. I mean, what chicken I had that was raw, and it just turned out to be like shredded when it was raw. So it's not abusing the system to try to find organic. Not that some people are trying to, maybe some people are trying to live in luxury, but I don't know why people think that a poor person wanting to be healthy or trying to eat natural and organic, they think that you're trying to live the high life or live in luxury. If you try to buy natural soap, but it's like you get condemned if you eat healthy, and you get condemned if you eat junk food. You get condemned if you use Dial soap, or you get condemned if you use Castile soap. You get condemned if you use Ajax dishwashing liquid, or you get condemned if you use Dr. Bronner's soap. Either way it goes. So, trying to strive to eat more natural, which is natural. I mean, it's expensive by design, but people say it's worth it to eat. Well, when you eat healthier, you're more likely to consume less food because you have all the daily nutrients that your body needs. So, like me having like a hot dog, of course, like 30 minutes later, I'm going to sit here and feel weak and shaky, and feel like I'm about to pass out or something, But, like this morning, that was the first time in a while that happened to me. But I think, when I was in Cincinnati, that kind of happened a few times for me to get weak and shaky. When I was staying up in an extended stay hotel. But living up in here, this was the first time I felt that way. And it probably was because I had the hot dogs, and then the cereal and stuff. So, but I felt more stabilized and better once I had some of the peas. And then I felt satiated and full. Excuse me. So, as I said, I don't always get the convenience to go to the real grocery store. So, I mean, I have to wait until after, if I get the clearance, that I have to wait until after the rent is paid. And I get the clearance if I get the clearance that I'm allowed to stay here next month or stay here another month. If I can do that, then I can feel comfortable with, using the food stamps to buy groceries. But, I mean, it's like, I can use the food stamps to buy groceries. But this month, like with $130, I won't be able to afford to buy, the kind of meat that I bought last month, like the bison, venison, and lamb and all that. I won't be able to afford to. So I'll have to do like the traditional beef, pork, chicken, and seafood. Like one seafood, like if it might be fish, excuse me, beef, pork, chicken, or fish, or shrimp, or something like that. It could be shrimp, scallops, or I can't afford or really do like crab or lobster or nothing like that. And I'm not striving to get like crab or lobster or anything, but just some simple like this past month I had the rainbow trout. And it was good too. So some people say tilapia is not good for you because it's farm raised. They say it's better to have wild caught fish, but wild caught fish is usually for the high end rich folks. You know, you see people that have like farm raised catfish, farm raised tilapia, but I heard that it's not good for you. And some people try to say be careful of tuna because of the mercury. But they say wild caught is better than farm raised. So I mean, well, for August, if I got to stay here another month, I don't really need to buy seasonings because I still have like some seasonings and sauces and stuff. And I would be good on breakfast food. Like I got pancake mix, I got farina grits and oatmeal. I need some more butter and sugar. But yeah, I need some butter and sugar, more butter and sugar. Let's see. Excuse me. So yeah, I would like to buy a nice bit of meat and produce and pasta and rice and potato is produce. Well, the Ezekiel 4:9 bread held me over, but at that HEB store, like even how I don't understand how it's dirty inside the freezer. So I mean, I felt turned off or grossed out from wanting to buy that from that particular store, you know. So and no, I got cereal now too, but that's gonna be gone. The cereal and milk. I just got some cereal and milk, you know, and eggs. So like I need to try to figure out what produce that I can get that would be cheaper price. Like I know carrots and radishes and probably celery is, you know, on a cheaper side. But they got certain fruits and vegetables that will be more expensive. Like I think the fruit is more expensive than the vegetables. So I guess I mean the idea of trying to see what's on sale. But I mean, as I said, I wanted to go this week or next week to get me groceries from the real grocery store, but I might have to hold out. I might have to hold out on the I might have to hold out on the you know, I really would like to go, but I might have to hold out. But you know, as I said, you know, I be trying to strive to get something that's more natural and healthy. But you know, I wish I could get me a job opportunity, but they would workplace mob me, or they haven't been trying to hire me. And it's July and places from Pensacola, like jobs from Pensacola and Cincinnati, acting like they're just now wanting to show interest in my application after y'all lied and saying that y'all were hiring immediately. But I would hate to leave here and then try to go back to Cincinnati for a job and then workplace mobbed after 2 days and then lost my spot here and then end up back homeless again. But they don't want to give homeless people a job. Yeah, they lie and say that they're hiring immediately. And then, you know, it'd be months and then, you know, no opportunity. So, I mean, as I say, I call myself trying to hire myself as an author. And the gang stalking network don't have the final say-so. But the IRS and Social Security consider that self-employed. So I'm like, well, I mean, I would like to be able to be a full-time writer, but the stress being held over my head about the Social Security thing, you know, the stress being held over my head about that is preventing me from sleeping well, and it's preventing me from relaxing and enjoying it here, and it's preventing me from being properly functional. And then the increased gang stalking and the harassment and everything. But a lot of times I be sitting up in here bored. Well, Cincinnati, I wasn't sure how big Cincinnati was, but there was a lot of places you can go, and the transportation was pretty good. Not perfect, but pretty good. And so the majority of the time, excuse me, I took the bus almost everywhere in Cincinnati. And the gang stalkers would set me up to miss the bus and stuff, you know. And the bus drivers would try to set me up to miss my next connection. And the gang stalkers, at every moment, they try to talk about my shitty food, my poor, I mean, a lot of the gang stalkers are illiterate and can't type, can't spell. But they try to talk about, look at her 3rd grade short stories that an 8-year-old would write. And they try to falsely accuse me of being a pedo by lying and saying that I write like as if an 8-year-old is writing about sex. That's how they try to falsely make it like. A lot of my short stories, I don't even talk really about sex. But if I might mention, you know, something sexual related with the novel that I'm working on that's exposing cults. But even then, you know, I haven't even referenced pedophilia or nothing like that. So, I mean, I just don't understand where they come from with their fake, wild imaginations. As I said, Star Bricker falsely accused me of glorifying and glamorizing child abuse and animal abuse. And they think that they got the authority to force me to quit writing. and it's like, if anything, it's the gang stalkers with the negativity. I mean, you're bullying, harassing, and making death threats at me and trolling me and talking about how you want to get people to piss by my homeless sleep spot or piss on me and stuff like that. Or for people to defecate by me and stuff like that. But then you trying to give me narcissistic lectures on how to be kind to people. And then that fake perp from Australia that falsely called himself Mission Possible, he tried to say that, oh, I bet you never did anything. I bet you never in your life did something kind for others without expecting anything in return. Well, how can you say that, make that false assumption about me? You know, they all, the fake TI perps and the regular perps, they all think the same way about me. But they are multiple people trying to play God. So, but it's like you're sitting here destroying lives, trying to, I mean, y'all bully and harass and wish death on a person that never did you anything. I mean, making it like as if you can't wait for me to die very soon. And y'all actually saying that Candy is going to die very soon. How kind is that? So, I mean, I have been wanting to write some more short stories lately. You know, but as I said, that lady from that Social Security phone conversation, she was trolling me over the phone by acting like as if she tried to tell me that I shouldn't be allowed to make money from my writings and stuff. And I'm like, either you're a rookie and you're not supposed to tell me that. So, I mean, I still haven't heard anything back from the Social Security office about my complaint about her abuse. Until then, I ain't turning in shit. I'm not turning in any information until something can be done about getting her, you know, but since they're all gang stalkers, they're not going to lose their jobs. Because I don't want to continue to work on this case or work on resolving this problem with her. Or anyone that's a gang stalker or anybody that's just as bad. You know what I mean? I need to work with somebody that's going to be respectful. But I mean, as I said, that lady caused me enough trauma that this is like showing up in my nightmares and stuff. But I don't think the Social Security Administration would try to stop a disabled person from making a living from writing or trying to, you know. But as I said, she just wanted to troll, harass, and be cruel. And she gaslit and manipulated and, you know, talked to me condescending and all that, you know. They set the target up with gang stalking Social Security workers that's going to be abusive. I mean, with the ticket to work and self-sufficiency, if it weren't for the workplace mobbing and keeping me blacklisted, and, I mean, I could have worked enough that I could have been got off of Social Security, SSI, and not looked back, and then, you know, made an income. But I was, now tell me why, excuse me, like, I think I mentioned about this recently. Excuse me. A black female Social Security worker told me that if I get married, they would turn off my Social Security benefit, my SSI benefits. But why is Social Security glorifying LGBTQIA couples that they can get that they can be married and get Social Security? I told y'all Social Security part of the New World Order. And they even make it like as if illegal immigrants can apply for Social Security. But we can't apply for Social Security in their countries. I mean, even if we're there legally. I mean, they have people who are foreign and come here illegally. And they will struggle, you know, trying to get benefits or any kind of assistance. But it's easier for a foreigner, legal or illegal, it's easier for a foreigner to get a job in this country before our own American people. But then people want to lie and say that Americans are lazy and don't want to work. The ones who have jobs are the ones who, or with the management positions, be the ones that's lazy and don't want to work or don't want to do their job. But the ones who are homeless and poor or disabled, like they had a guy on Experience Project one time. He told me years ago that he wished that he could give up his left nut for a job opportunity. You know, meaning give away his left testicle for a job opportunity. They got disabled people who wish, like me, who wish we could freaking work. But I wish I could get to being like self-employed and make a sustainable living from it. And it's narcissistic to punish people for what they didn't know. Or something that they weren't sure of, you know. Excuse me. So it's like they got a lot of Americans who, excuse me, it's like I have a bachelor's degree, and even before I got arrested and went to jail and the records got expunged, you know, the case was thrown out or whatever. It was something that I was set up and falsely accused. And that was the perp that did that. The online scammer that scammed me. And that was one time ever in my life. And so my twin sister lies to people saying that I've been to jail twice. No, she lied and said that I've been to jail twice for fraud, when that wasn't the case. I'm going to explain myself again. A man posed as a woman and scammed me online and wrote me a fake check, and I didn't know that I didn't know until after I sent it to the check cash in place. I didn't know that it was a fake check or a bad check from a non-existent bank, but the check looked legitimate. And so I spent one night in jail and then got out the next morning. I mean, I'm sorry, or it was the next afternoon or something. I got out the next day. And that was less than 24 hours, but that was the longest overnight that I had to experience in my life, you know. I mean, spending overnight in jail felt like 50 years, and I ain't even 50 years old yet. That's how I felt. Like an eternity, like I was never going to get out. And so they allowed me to show proof that I was scammed online with the camcorder that was, because Mark pushed me up to try to get back in school, and Mark was taking my money. Like the foster mom Adrian Felder was taking my money, Mark was taking advantage of my money. And my twin sister was taking my money and taking advantage of my money. And Ramona was taking advantage of my money. I'm talking about throughout my life, you know. And the biological nephew, John, was taking my money. I mean, a lot of my family, not all family members, but more than half the doggone family was taking my damn money. A lot of the family members taking my money and taking advantage of me. So, so then I don't remember if it was the defense attorney or district attorney that had me in handcuffs the next day. And so she said, you know, after I showed them proof about everything, and they said, next time it won't be, if this happens again, then next time it won't be an accident or something like that, you know. So, it never happened again. Well, it came close to happening a couple of times. I think one time in 2017, it was care2.com with the babysitting job opportunities, and somebody scammed me. I mean, tried to scam me, but I didn't cash the check. And, I was told to tear the check up and throw it away. Or I was advised to tear the check up and throw it away and don't try to cash it. So now, you know, if someone were to try to do that to me, I can look up to see if that bank exists. But I mean, as I said, I did not know. So I don't know where my twin sister get that from, lying and saying that I'm a scammer and that I have been to jail twice for fraud, or that I got arrested twice for fraud, which wasn't true. We weren't even around each other, and we weren't even really on speaking terms around that time. So, but she should have gone to jail for the fraud she committed towards me, taking advantage and bullying and blackmailing me out of money for years. I mean, you got your own twin sister who won't do shit for you, but be generous to strangers, to internet strangers. Excuse me. Your twin sister who wouldn't mind to sit there and make you starve. But I'm used to it, though. But she was taught wrong. I mean, the foster mom pretty much, you know, she encouraged, you know, things to be this way. Because the foster mom used to do for strangers more than she did for us in front of our faces. You know, and we wonder why she treated strangers' kids way better than the way she treated us. But she want to take the brownie points for raising us from a baby. Like the new foster boys that she got, they were already teenagers and they had more privileges and rights than we had. I mean, she gave them more allowances than we did, you know. But I would like to know what other instance was I supposed to have falsely been arrested for fraud? And then she tried to say, bitch been in jail twice for fraud. And so then the online gang stalkers, they're repeating the lies. Everything she says. And so, you know, the gang stalkers online, they were talking about how Brandy is the one who's more chill and she's cool people and all that. But they try to make like, I'm just so horrible. But they don't count her calories. They don't call her fat and greedy. They don't bully and harass her. They don't, you know, try to split up her and Chyna's relationship. Or, you know, they support and applaud everything she does. Like as if she can do no wrong in their eyes. But they got a nitpicking hatred for everything I do and say. Excuse me, you know. Yeah. So I would hate to, I'm sitting here thinking like, I would hate to have to wait 10 or 11 days or almost like a week and a half to use those food stamps. Because as I said, I would hate to go this week to get groceries and then the third comes around and I get paid. And then come to find out the office might, if the office were to say something, you know, tell me, oh, you can't stay here no more. Because the online gang stalkers been threatening me. They've been threatening me. So I would hate to spend all that money on food just to be told that I can't stay here another month and I have to pack up. And, you know, when getting rid of my belongings, they're going to take and throw that away. They're not going to take some of the unopened stuff or stuff that people can use and, like, distribute it to the, no, they would throw it all away and claim it's for health and safety reasons for them to just waste the doggone money and throw everything away. You know, all the toilet paper I done just bought and paper towels, dishwashing liquid, soap, you know, everything. And I'm still having to pay on the storage unit because of not having a way to, not having the finances or a way to get over there and get my stuff. And speaking of that, last month I put up a Craigslist ad for any churches to help me out. You know, and I said at that time that I was willing to pay for it to get my stuff. I mean, I just needed the physical labor and assistance to help. But I was trying to ask for, you know, I was trying to ask for physical assistance. And I said I had the money at that time. And I was going to try to go down there and get all my stuff out my storage unit. But then it wasn't until a few days ago. Like, no, it was over the weekend. It was a couple of days ago. And they falsely flagged my post for removal. And I'm like, and I didn't even get a reason why. But it had to have been gang stalkers to do that. Or they figured that they knew who I was. Look, if they're stalking and looking on Craigslist. And so, in my experiences, when these traffickers can't, you know, get what they sexually want, they will be petty and falsely report you, you know. It seems like the fact that I put that up there and I asked if any churches can help, you know, and then if I asked if any churches can help me, and then they had people personally, men personally you know, offering, but, you know, they weren't trying to, they were predators that were trying to look for somebody to traffic. And because they couldn't get what they wanted, they wanted to be petty and falsely falsely flag the post. I mean, when I would try to look for housing, and like when I got the tax refund check last year, I was trying to look for housing. I'm trying to look for this, look for that, or look for job opportunities, and then people would try to respond back, and then if it might be abusive, narcissistic, exploitative, sex trafficking men, predators, and then they would get mad and falsely report me, you know. So if I put up a Craigslist ad back then, and then a guy would say that, oh, I want to see what you look like, and then I show him a picture of what I look like, and then he would get mad and block me and falsely report and falsely flag my ad. And it's like being a targeted individual. It seems like everything, like, it's got to be part of the gang stalking that everything I post gets flagged on Craigslist. I mean, I could put up an ad, you know, giving away, you know, a box of old VHS tapes. And they would flag that too. So, yeah, I actually kept forgetting to mention about, you know, the being falsely flagged on Craigslist. They falsely flagged me last year twice, at least 2 or 3 times. And it would be frustrating and discouraging. And I think it was in 2021, they had that lady who lied and said that she was a Christian, and she turned out to be a perp. Excuse me. She had that bed bug infested place. And she falsely got my post taken down when I exposed her and warned people about her. But I see posts of people warning about crooked people on Craigslist all the time, and those posts get to stay up. So people make it like as if I don't have a right to use Craigslist. I mean, and I felt bad that, you know, when they had the personal section, I didn't do it all the time, but I did a few times, you know, put up an ad, you know, looking for a husband or something, not realizing, you know, I was way younger back then, you know. But then my own nephew saw my ad on Craigslist one time, and then one time he bragged and laughed and talked about, you know, like he's like, "Get off here, auntie," and then he went to be messy like a female and blabber to the whole family because he's a damn perp. That's Ramona's son, so they're all freaking perps. So I'm like, well, I'm older than you, you're younger than me, and you don't care about me, even though you're my nephew. You treat me like a stranger. But you narcissistic, what you doing on Craigslist? But he's sitting on Craigslist looking for hoes. But he bragged and laughed and said, "I see why you and Brandy be getting raped. Ha 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 ha." Like, you don't joke about shit like that, because even though you a dude, what if somebody stole your manhood and raped you? I mean, I've heard stories about grown men being sex trafficked or trafficked for their organs, or because I didn't even have a whole lot of knowledge about this trafficking thing or the gang stalking or any of that. But now, after finding out what I find out about, that if you wanted to look for love or you wanted a man, they would set you up with an abusive, narcissistic gang stalker, or a male honeypot or something. And if they might be dangerous enough to kill you. But none of my family members, like, they don't even care. It's like they make a mockery out of me or my twin sister dealing with rape. I mean, and it's the male family members who mock and laugh at that. But y'all be the main ones who abusive, narcissistically, physically abuse and beat on women. Beat and control women. And even the females in the family make a mockery of it too. But the females in the family, like Monica and Rebecca, they be dressing like sluts for every year for Halloween. Nobody say they deserve to be raped. Me and my twin sister would wear a hoodie and hoodie and sweatpants and get raped. But as I said, Monica and Rebecca, they dress like sluts every year for Halloween. But we deserve to get raped. I mean, Rebecca had been called, she's considered the slut of the family. The family whore. Like another Lanika from the Masonic Smelly Crab family. Oh, I just tilted my head back a little bit like this and felt mild vertigo. I hope I ain't about to get that back again. Because that's disabling to a point where I couldn't freaking work. And I'm sitting here feeling traumatized by sex. Sex and rape, I feel traumatized. But like, yeah, I mean, it's like the family has an abnormal kind of hatred towards me. So I think that my family members are dangerous enough that they would have physically, I'm the crazy one, but they would have physically took me out and murdered me themselves. Hold on, I gotta pee. I'm back. So it is now Wednesday, July 26, 2023 at 12:40 a.m. in the morning. So yeah, I mean, if Monica and Rebecca dress, provocative during Halloween, and they're abusive, narcissistic perps too. Every adult in the family have gang stalked me. Every adult in the family is gang stalkers except for me. including my twin sister. Y'all know she's a perp, but y'all just want to try to rewrite history and reverse the narrative. But I heard that dealing with narcissistic abuse, the one who's narcissistically abusing you gets falsely praised as the good person, while the victim is, demonized or villainized or something. But God sees everything. I wish there was a way I could make my own income and make my own money and get off Social Security. But I've been feeling helpless all these years, or didn't know where to turn. But I wish I would have known back then in 2007. I mean, I would have been writing whole novels and everything. But people hate me so much that they act like they don't even have patience for my 5-minute short stories that might take 5 minutes to read. But when I put my short stories in a community post, I get more likes and views when I do. I mean, more likes and views than when I put them in a video. When I put them in a YouTube video. So, when I put it in a community post and share a short story, I guess they have a few people who say that they like my short stories. And that should be okay. But the gang stalkers don't want it to be okay. The victim could cook the best steak in the most the most mind-blowing and best steak in the world. And the narcissistic abuser will play games and lie and insult and say that is the worst steak that they ever had, and then pretend to be offended and throw it in the trash. But tell me why another person who's not the victim can make the steak the exact same method, in the exact same ratio and measurements of seasonings or sauces, and get praised for it. If my twin sister did cooking videos, she get praised for it. But if I do cooking videos, I get shunned for it. Or try to, demonstrate, something. But they praise everything she does and shun everything I do. And, they're not telling her that they hope that one day she's going to drop dead of a heart attack, or that they hope she drop dead soon. But they're saying this about me. And she is okay with that. I mean, she would rather defend and agree with strangers, gang stalking strangers, rather than her own sister. I mean, her own twin sister. But it seems like so many people in the TI community really either have become fake or really are fake. And it's like very rare for anybody in the TI community to actually listen to me and believe me and give me the time of the day about my own twin sister. But the same people who tell me that they don't want to hear it and that I'm full of drama and negativity, they sneak behind my back and willfully go flock to her. But they be two-faced and fake. But they feel like, they will try to be messy at their own convenience. And they will have fake TI perps that comment under the regular perps, fake parody and mockery videos of me, and memes and all that. Excuse me. It's not fair that behind false accusations, lies, and rumors, that one twin is glorified and as having more, being allowed to have more rights than the other twin. But everybody ignored me and didn't want to hear it when I told them. Even fake TI perps didn't want to hear it, and they ignored me or thought I was full of drama when I said that my twin sister mentioned about, you see that GoFundMe you got up there, you might want to leave it up there for your burial. And my own twin sister wants to deal with me like as if I'm a stranger and not family. Family members think they can handpick who's related to them. You know, as I said, you know, people respect the biological brother Pete. You know, they respect him because they're scared of him. But they do me like they do Sean too. They call him crazy and dangerous. And I mean, I don't even know how Sean would deal with me if I were to sit down and talk to Sean about gang stalking. You know, because I mean, I really believe that Sean is targeted too. But Pete probably offered Sean a deal and got him to become a perp. Because Sean had been like making death threats or threats to beat my ass and making hate remarks at me. You know. But Ramona takes all of Sean's money and go gamble it up. And she was doing that to me too. And my twin sister said Ramona was doing that to her, but my twin sister was taking the family was taking my money. You know? But yeah, I'm sitting here feeling like I wish I could go to grocery shopping soon, but I might have to wait until excuse me, after the 3rd of the month. But I like it when I used to like it when I would get the food stamps on the 3rd of the month. And then at the beginning of the month, you know, if I got my food stamps on the 3rd of the month and at the beginning of the month, I would you know, get the food stamps and my Social Security check, I'll be damn near penny broke by the 5th of the month, getting the things that I need to get. And then having barely any money for transportation and having just enough money for like to do laundry twice throughout the month. Back then when I was living in Denton, Texas, you know, I would have to go so time without a shower or a bath in order to stretch the soap. I would be poor and, you know, having to hand wash my clothes. I mean, I was financially struggling and had to hand wash my clothes with baking soda and vinegar, being so poor. And then, you know, and also, I think it was once a week or every 2 weeks, I had to pay a sliding scale fee for the oppressive, abusive, narcissistic, gang stalking, mental health counseling. I had to pay for that too. And I wasn't asking for donations or asking for online help. I didn't even know such thing existed where you can ask people, strangers online, for financial donations and help. That was before social media. I mean, I think they had MySpace and Facebook during those days. But yeah, I mean, I would get $152 or something in food stamps. And I didn't even think of to live the healthy, natural, organic life. I was sitting here living off of ramen noodles, tuna, those Hormel completes, canned soup, hot dogs, pancakes, and stuff like that, you know. But I try to change around, but the majority, you know, try to change around my diet and improve my diet and everything. But now, I mean, food costs way more now than it did back then. And now I get $130 in food stamps. And then, you know, so with the increasing food prices, I need to find ways on, excuse me, how to, you know, find ideas of cheaper food to eat that could stretch me the whole month. Because they had somebody that said that they're disabled and that they get, some people say that they're disabled and get only $23 in food stamps. I'm like, that's fucked up, you know. But then, if somebody said they get $126 in food stamps or $125 in food stamps, and they said that the food stamps last them 3 weeks, and then they have to spend the rest of the month's money on, like, I guess, using cash for food, and it's a struggle. But in Victoria, they got food pantries and food banks. But, you know, things would be a nice big help if there was a way for me to go to the food pantries or food banks. You know, if I had a way or an opportunity, you know, if I can go to the food banks or something, you know. But I don't know if the food banks is for Victoria residents only. I mean, they got a lot of poor people here in Bloomington, but I heard that over 97% of people here have a job, and most people here have a car. And it's like, how can I get a job in a car? But the online gang stalkers want to remain, they want to keep with the false narrative that I'm lazy and don't want to work, and that I've been receiving free handouts and living a luxury in life all my life. And that's not the case at all. I've been deprived all my life. If I was living in luxury, I wouldn't need no, I would damn sure wouldn't be living here if I was living in luxury. But my twin sister gets luxury, and she thinks she got her own fake authority to think I shouldn't be allowed to have luxury. But she'll bully me around anybody who enables her bullying and abusing me. But then, you know, since we're not in foster care no more, there is no one to make her humble herself and make her be nice, like any therapist or anybody, or social worker or anybody. But she got so many enablers, you know, and it's like everybody's sitting there saying what's opposite of the truth. Like, I wouldn't listen to somebody's videos for 3 years if I thought they was always lying about something. Who the hell who wastes their time to do stuff like that unless y'all are paid gang stalkers? But I heard it's called paid to hate. Vigilante hate. You know, and the hate is so strong that I can't even comprehend it, and it's traumatizing. As I said, narcissistic abusers, starting from the fake foster mom, would always wish illness and death on me. You know, wish for me to have diabetes or die of a heart attack or another stroke or whatever else. But being on psychiatric medication, it worsens your health problems, not make it better. You know, so I mean, somebody told me one time, whoever wishes diabetes on you should go eat deep fried testicles. And I guess the person was trying to be funny or trying to joke or whatever. You know, but she would always make sexually perverted jokes, and narcissistic abusers do that. They love to try to act like they delusionally believe that they're class clown funny, and make sexually perverted jokes. So but she turned out to be a perp later on and started to act like a narcissistic abuser. That person who said that, but yeah, I'm sitting here just trying to figure out ways to survive. As I said, it's very difficult with the transportation and trying to just survive and live here. You know, but I'm trying to make it and fighting to stay off the streets. But the online gang stalkers falsely lie and say that I'm doing whatever I can to put myself back on the streets, when even though I hate it here, but I'm still fighting to do whatever I can to stay off the streets. And they're vibrating my body right now. So yeah, it looks like, I mean, as much as I wish I could go to the real grocery store, I might have to wait until after August 3rd to spend the food stamps. And then, but you know, for August, if I would have got the food stamps, you know, I would end up being broke enough that I almost wouldn't have enough money for a little birthday cupcake and a little ice cream. But the advantage of if I were to get the food stamps by August 18th, 19th, or whatever, you know, I can use the food stamps to buy, you know, a small little cupcake, because it's just me, and I don't want to waste a whole big old cake. So it's just me, and I might just have to get like a small little Haagen-Dazs little thing and a small little just single person cupcake or something, or maybe a small thing of cupcakes. But I hate doing it like that. You know, I wish I could have like a big cake, you know, but me being targeted, I mean, the gang stalking network makes sure they make sure you're undeservingly punished with a bad birthday also. It's just not right at all, you know. But so I would have to wait until August, I mean after the 3rd or after the 6th, in order to use those food stamps. You know, because as I said, I don't even know if I get to stay here another month, because the online gang stalkers threatening me so hard, and because of the social security situation, or the in-person gang stalkers might do or say something, you know, or to sabotage or set me up or whatever. It's just, it ain't even guaranteed for me to be here, you know, and I don't have a year on lease. So, I mean, I don't even know if targeted individuals have ever gotten evicted from a year lease apartments or houses for exposing gang stalking. You know, if they got like a eviction or something. But, you know, but thanks for listening to me. My storage space, I'm pretty sure, is eating up. It is now, they're freezing my phone. It's 1:01 a.m. So I'll see y'all later. Love y'all. Bye.